Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. In our NCERT Marathon series, today we'll continue with the Contemporary India 1 Class 9th NCERT. As we have started earlier, this Class 9th NCERT and we have covered almost 70% part of the class 9th NCERT. So now friends, we'll start today's session. Before that, I hope everyone revised what we have covered in previous sessions. So dear friends, let's start today's session. It's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy and you can join our Telegram group using this link. Friends, do not forget to enroll yourself for Mega Combat subscription test scheduled on tomorrow morning 11 a.m. Means you have to reserve your time 11 July 11 a.m. for the Mega Combat. Now you can enroll for this combat through the link given in description box. You can use referral code RBI Live to register for the combat. So friends, hurry up. Here you can win amazing prizes and scholarship. Unacademy is also providing huge discount on combo subscription, which means for the 1 year of general studies and optional subscription, you have to pay only 49,680 rupees till 14th July. So approx 45% discount you will get on combo subscription. Yes, now we are also giving Unacademy promise and benefits with 1 year subscription. So friends, we will discuss this in details during the session. In Maha subscription offer, you will get extended validity of your subscription till mains. Yes, Narva Sai Shri, welcome to the session. We'll start today's NCERT session. Yes, so keep watching our videos. Now, you will also get comprehensive UPSC test series where we'll cover your preparation evaluation for preliminary and main examination, where topic-wise sectional and full-length tests are there. Those aspirants facing financial constraint, they can go with the loan facility or with the no-cost EMI benefit. Unacademy is providing 20 books in hard copy. So these books worth rupees 10,000 you will get. Free with 1 year subscription and onwards. Now, aspirants looking for our paid courses, we have Iconic and Plus subscription. So now those aspirants pursuing graduation or their 12th or after their 12th examination, planning to start their preparation for civil services, they can go with Iconic subscription. Now in Iconic subscription, you will get all the features of Plus course like live classes, weekly test, unlimited access for live and recorded classes, along with structured courses. Now, if you will go for the Iconic course, you will get all the features of Plus course along with additional features like personal guidance, study planner, study material, experts guidelines, and test analysis. You will get 10% discount after using referral code RBI Live, which means for the 1 year of Plus course, you have to pay only 44,450 rupees, where for the 1 year of Iconic course, you have to pay only 67,050 rupees. So here you can use referral code RBI Live. Yes, friends, you will get also 10% discount on optional subscription. We are going to start new batches from 14th July. As per your convenience, you can join these batches. Free test series for all aspirants, where you can use code RBI Live to unlock the test. So friends, here we go with today's session. The Contemporary India 1. Now, we have covered the India size and location, physical features of India, drainage, climate. Now, we'll start with the natural vegetation and wildlife and population in today's session. So friends, let's go with today's session. So I hope everyone revised what we have covered in our previous classes of this NCERT. So before that, now we'll start with the natural vegetation and wildlife. So friends, do not forget to share the link with your friends so they will join the session. So now friends, the NCERT is interesting to clear our, or it's interesting books to understand the concept and more information related to subject. So there are few questions, their chronology, answers, and innovative information added for the purpose of our examination. Now friends, have you observed the types of trees, bushes, grasses, and birds in the fields and parks in around us? So they are similar or there are variations? Yes, are they similar or there are variations? So India being a vast country, we can imagine the types of bioforms available throughout the country. As we know, like area wise and as per the diversity, a vast country like India, we have different types of bioforms available. Now, in our country, the 12 mega biodiversity, yes, so our country, India, is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. Now remember that India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world with about 47,000 plant species. So India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in the Asia in plant diversity. Yes. Now understand how we reach in this biodiversity, and along with this, it's our responsibility to maintain this biodiversity, conserve this biodiversity for upcoming generations. Now, there are about 50,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% of the world's total number of flowering plants. The country has many non-flowering plants such as ferns, algae, and fungi. India also has approximately 90,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine waters. So when we are talking about the biodiversity of our country, we have different types of bioforms available throughout the country. Now friends, natural vegetation, which refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. So this is termed as virgin vegetation. So the cultivated crops, fruits, orchards from part of vegetation, but not natural vegetation. So the natural vegetation, which refers to a plant community which grow naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by human beings for a long time. So this is termed as virgin vegetation. Now, friends, do you know virgin vegetation, which are purely Indian, are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. Yes, the virgin vegetation which are purely Indian are known as endemic or indigenous species, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic plants. So this is the difference between endemic or indigenous. Yes. Or exotic. So the indigenous or exotic plants is the difference between indigenous and exotic plants in vegetation. Now just we have to go through this small things or the minor important things which will help us to understand the question in preliminary examination as well. Now come to the part of flora. The term flora is used to denote plants of particular region or period. And similarly, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. So this huge diversity in flora and fauna, yes, this huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the various factors. We will discuss these factors. So the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period. And similarly, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. So now just remember that plants is flora, whereas animals are fauna. Yes, there are a number of times students are confusing between flora and fauna. Now just understand the basic thing, that is the term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region, whereas the species of animals are referred to as fauna of that particular area. So now we'll study about the relief, where we'll start with land. Now friends, land affects the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. So as we have observing the different type of vegetations in different locations like mountains, plateau and plain areas, or in dry and wet regions. So the nature of land which influences the type of vegetation So the fertile level is generally devoted to agriculture. Undulating and rough terrains are areas where grassland and woodlands develop and give shelter to a variety of wildlife. Yes. Now understand, under the relief, the land which affect the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. So when we are talking about the type of vegetations in mountains, plateau plains, in dry and wet regions, these are the different from place to place. Now, so the undulating and rough terrains are areas where grassland and woodlands develop and give shelter to a variety of wildlife. Now, after the land, if we are talking about soil, the soils also vary over space. Different types of soils provide basis for different types of vegetation. The sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes, while wet, marshy, deltaic soils support mangroves and deltaic vegetation. The hill slopes with some depth of soil have conical trees. So according to the types of soils, vegetation varies. Yes. Now, after the soil and the relief, now we'll see climate. The factor of climate like temperature. Now friends, the character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by temperature along with humidity in the air, precipitation and soil. So on the slopes of the Himalayas and the hills of the peninsula, above the height of 915 meters, the fall in temperature affects the types of vegetation and its growth and changes it from tropical to subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation. Now friends, when we are talking about the effect of temperature, so the character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by temperature along with humidity in the air, precipitation and soil. So the temperature is also varies from place to place. Temperature affects the types of vegetation and its growth and also changes it from tropical to subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation. Yes, Aman, in today's session We will continue with the class 9th NCERT. Yes, now temperature characteristics of the vegetation zones. There is chart given in the NCERT. So friends, when we are talking about vegetation zones, tropical, subtropical, temperate and alpine. So when we are talking about the annual average temperature of tropical vegetation zone which is above 24 degrees Celsius. In subtropical vegetation zone, average temperature is between 17 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius. In temperate zones, average temperature between 7 degrees Celsius to 17 degrees Celsius. In alpine zone, the average temperature between below 7 degrees Celsius, yes, which is below 7 degrees Celsius. So this is the average temperature in vegetation zones. Now there is also given the temperature in January month. Now ultimately, when we are talking about the frost in tropical zone, so there is no frost occur in the tropical zone. In subtropical zone, frost is rare, whereas in temperate vegetation zone, frost, some snow, and in alpine vegetation zone, the occurrence of snow. Yes, so there is snow occurrence in alpine vegetation zone, right? So this is the temperature characteristics of tropical, subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation zone. Now we'll see the photoperiod, that is sunlight. So the variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to different in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. So due to longer duration of sunlight, trees grow faster in summer. So the variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to differences in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. So due to longer duration of sunlight, trees grow faster in summer. Now, as we have studied in earlier NCERTs, the effect of sunlight on the plants, if we'll observe or we'll do the experiment with two plants where we'll keep one plant in proper or the longer duration of sunlight, whereas another plant will keep in the dark environment or absence of the sunlight. So after the few days, we'll observe the growth of this both plant, where we'll see the plant is in proper sunlight will grow faster than the plant keeping dark surrounding. So this is the effect of sunlight in the growth of plants. Now then, precipitation. Friends, in India, almost the entire rainfall is brought in by the advancing southwest monsoon, that is the duration between June to September. And retreating northeast monsoons. So areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to areas of less rainfall. Now, when we are talking about the dense vegetation in the northeast region, whereas the rain vegetation, that is a less vegetation in the area like Rajasthan. So the areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to the areas of less rainfall. The example like Rajasthan and northeastern states. So friends, have you even thought as to why forests are important for human beings? So the forests are renewable resources and play a major role in enhancing the quality of environment. Now, so forests modify local climate, control soil erosion, regulate stream flow, support a variety of industries, provide livelihood for many communities, and offer panoramic and scenic view for recreation. Now, they control wind force and temperature and cause rains. They provide humus to the soil and shelter to the wildlife. So India's natural vegetation has undergone many changes due to several factors, such as growing demand for cultivated land, development of industries and mining, urbanization, and overgrazing of pastures. So these are the factors affect the forests. Now, when we are talking about the vegetation cover of India in large parts is no more natural in the real sense. Now, what is meant by that? So friends, except in some inaccessible regions like the Himalayas, the hilly regions of central India and the Marustari, the vegetation in most of the areas has been modified at some places or replaced or degraded by human occupancy. If friends, do you know if we'll study the report published in 2011 by the Indian State of Forest, where the forest cover in India is 21.05%. Yes, forest cover in India is 21.05%. Now, after that, the area in percentage shown in the report 2013-14. Yes, India State of Forest Report 2013-14, which showing the area in percentage under the forest. Like in Arunachal Pradesh, which is around 80%. Now see, then the state like Mizoram, which is around 90%. Again, like Nagaland, as we have discussed earlier, the northeastern states have the dense vegetation and forest cover. Now then, when we are talking about Tripura, which is around 75% of forest cover. Then Andaman and Nicobar Islands also have 80+% forest cover. Lakshadweep also having more than 80% of forest cover. Now see, the area like Haryana, which is having around 5%, Punjab is also having around 5%. So friends, this is the area covered by the forests as per the India State of Forest Report 2013-14. Now, moving to the next part, the types of vegetation. Yes, friends, now we'll see the types of vegetation. So, the major types of vegetation in our country, like tropical evergreen forests, tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forest and shrubs, mountain forests, mangrove forests, now first we'll discuss about tropical evergreen forests. Now friends, these forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of the Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. So they're best in areas having more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. With a short day season. So the trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or even above. And since the region is warm and wet throughout the year, it has the luxuriant vegetation of all kinds of trees, shrubs and creepers, giving it a multi-layered structure. There is no definite time for trees to shade their leaves. As such, these forests appear green all the year round. Yes, this is the tropical evergreen forest. Now, some of the commercially important trees of these forests are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber and cinchona. The common animals found in these forests are elephant, monkey, lemur and deer. So one-horned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. Besides these animals, plenty of birds, bats, sloth, scorpions and snails are also found in these jungles. So this is the tropical evergreen forest. Now see the figure of tropical evergreen forests. So there are trees which grow around 60 meters now. See the emergent layer which is between 40 to 60 meters, canopy layer which is between 20 to 40 meters, then the young trees which is between occurs around the 5 meters, and shrubs layer which is up to the 1.5 meters. Now this is the tropical evergreen forest. Next, when we are talking about the natural vegetation, the tropical evergreen forests, see these are the tropical evergreen forests. These are the tropical evergreen forest. Then tropical deciduous forests. Then mountain forest, mangrove forest, and tropical thorn forest. So this map which is showing the different types of vegetations. Now after that we'll discuss the second type, that is tropical deciduous forests. Next, now we'll discuss the tropical deciduous forest. So these are the most widespread forests of India. So there are also called the monsoon forests and spread over the regions receiving rainfall between 200 centimeter and 70 centimeter. So trees of this forest type shade their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer On the basis of the availability of water, these forests are further divided into moist and dry deciduous. Yes. So, the tropical deciduous forest, so there are two types of the forest, like the availability of water. These forests are further divided into moist and dry deciduous types. So where the former is found in areas where the mostly in eastern part of the country, northeastern states, along the foothills of the Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. So, teak is the most dominant species of this forest. Now, bamboos, sal, shisam, sandalwood, kher, kusum, arjun, mulberry are other commercially important species occurred in the tropical deciduous forests. You see now some aspirants not interested in the speed we are covering the NCERTs. So there are a number of aspirants looking cover, yeah, they are looking for the coverage of the NCERTs in depth, and we are covering the page by page NCERT in our marathon series. Now, the tropical deciduous forests, moving to the next pictorial presentation of these forests. These are the tropical deciduous forests. So, the dry deciduous forests are found in areas which having rainfall between 100 centimeter to 70 centimeter. These forests are found in the rainier parts of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So there are open stretches in which teak, sal, peepal and neem grow. A large part of this region which has been cleared for cultivation and some parts are used for grazing. Now friends, understand the dry deciduous forests which are found in the areas which having the rainfall between 70 to 100 centimeter, and these forests, when we are talking about the animals like lion, tiger, pig, deer and elephants, and a huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes and tortoises are also found in tropical deciduous forests. Deciduous forests. Yes, now moving to the next part. That is the thorn forest and scrubs. Now, in regions with less than 70 centimeter of rainfall, the natural vegetation which consists of thorny trees and bushes, these types of vegetation is found in the northwestern part of the country which including semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. So, acacias, palms, euphorbias, and cacti are the main plant species. Yes, good evening, Ram Kumar. Today, we'll continue with the Contemporary India Class 9th NCERT. So now, we are studying about the vegetation part. Yes. So, the thorn forest and scrubs, which occurs in the area where rainfall is less than 70 centimeter. Now, trees are scattered in this area and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil. So, yes. So please mention your name. I'll so can address you properly and will solve your doubts as well. The reason behind this, a number of students watching these videos, they are making their short notes as well. So there is an option after the video, you can watch the video with the fastest speed as well. Yes. So just cooperate with other aspirants, those who are preparing notes from these videos. Yes, now. Yes, thank you. And also you can prepare the notes, that your own notes in your own handwriting, which will help you for the revise the NCERTs. Now, friends, the thorn forest and scrubs, where the stems are succulent to conserve water, leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize evaporation. Yes, friends, where the rainfall is less than 70 centimeter. As we have studied the process of photosynthesis, and along with the water is evaporating, or the reaction of evaporation or transpiration. So in these types of forest, leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize evaporation. So these forests give way to thorn forest and scrub in arid areas. Now this is the thorn forest and scrubs. Now see the picture which is given in the NCERT itself. These forests is in the arid regions. So when we are talking about the fauna, like the common animals are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses, and camels. Then next type is mountain forests. So friends, in mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude, which leads to the corresponding change in natural vegetation. So as such, there is a succession of natural vegetation based in the same order as we see from the tropical to the tundra region. So the wet temperature type of forest, which are found between a height of 1000 to 1000 to 2000 meters, and Evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks and chestnuts predominate, which between 1500 to 3000 meters. Temperate forest containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and cedar are found. So friends, the montane forests cover mostly the southern slope of the Himalayas, places having high altitude in southern and northeast India. Yes, at higher elevations, temperate grasslands are common, and at high altitudes, generally more than 3,600 meters above the sea level, temperate forests and grasslands give way to alpine vegetation. This is the montane forests. Now, the common animals which found in these forests like Kashmir stag, spotted deer, now the fauna of the region like the Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horned wild ibex, and rare red panda, sheep and goats with thick hair found in this region. So when we are talking about the common trees like silver fir, junipers, pines, and birches are found in these types of forests. However, they get progressively stunned at the approach, the snow line, and ultimately through the shrubs and scrubs, they merge into the alpine grasslands. These are usually extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes like the Gujars and the Bakkawals. So at higher altitudes, mosses and lichens, which form part of tundra vegetation. So these are the montane forests. Yes, friends. Now moving to the next part. Now see the picture of montane forests. They're occurring at the higher altitudes. Now, after that, friends will discuss mangrove forests. The mangrove tidal forests are found in the areas of coast influenced by tides. The mud and silt get accumulated on such coast. So, dense mangrove forests are common varieties with roots of plants submerged underwater. So, the deltas of the Ganga, the Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, and Kaveri are covered by mangrove forests. In the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, Sundri trees are found which provide durable hard timber. So, when we are talking about the trees like palm, coconut, kevra, agar, etc., also grow in some parts of the delta. Then, Royal Bengal tiger is famous animal in these forests. So the turtles, crocodiles, gharials and snakes are also found in this mangrove forest. So see the picture of mangrove forest. Now, medicinal plants. So friends, our country is known for herbs and spices from ancient times. So there are some 2000 plants have been described in Ayurveda, and at least 500 are in regular use. The World Conservation Union's rare list has 352 medicinal plants, of which 52 are critically threatened and 49 endangered. So now we'll see the commonly used plants in India. Yes, medicinal plants. So friends, most of you have heard these names of plants like Sarpagandha, the medicinal plant which used for the blood pressure, and it is found in, yes, it is found only in India. Now, jamun. So the juice from ripe fruit is used to prepare vinegar, which is carminative and diuretic and has digestive properties. So the powder of the seed is used for controlling diabetes. Yes, diabetes. So jamun is the medicinal plant. Then arjun, the fresh juice of leaves, is a cure for earache. It is also used to regulate blood pressure. Then babul, leaves are used for cure for eye sores. Its gum is used as a tonic. Yes, its gum. The babul's gum is used as tonic. Then neem has high antibiotic and antibacterial properties. Tulsi is used to cure cough and cold. Kachnar, which is used to cure asthma and ulcers. The birds and roots of Kachnar, good for digestive problems. Then, these are some of the important medicinal plants. Now, after that, friends, we'll discuss the wildlife. Like its flora, India is also rich in fauna. It has approximately 90,000 animal species, where the country has about 2,000 species of birds. They constitute 13% of world's total population of. Then there are 2,546 species of fish, which account for nearly 12% of the world's stock. Yes, it also shares between 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. So the elephants are the most majestic animals among the mammals. They are found in the hot wet forests of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. The horned rhinoceros are the other animals which live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. Then arid areas of the run of Kutch and the Thar Desert are the habitat for wild ass and camels respectively. Yes, the run of Kutch and the Thar Desert. Then Indian bison, nilgai, chausinga, gazelle, and different species of deer, some other animals found in India. So it also have several species of monkeys. Yes, friends, when we are talking about wildlife in our country, its reach in the extent of, when we are talking about the global context, India is rich in its fauna, like 90,000 animal species, like 2,000 species of birds, 2,546 species of fish, so friends, so as we have different types of animals, birds, mammals, reptiles and amphibians in our country. So now, do you know Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 in our country? So, India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. Now, remember that in our country or throughout the world, when we are talking about tigers and lions, so India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. The natural habitat of the Indian lions is the Gir forest in Gujarat, whereas tigers are found in the forest of Madhya Pradesh. Now, the tigers are found in forests of Madhya Pradesh, the Sundarbans of West Bengal, and the Himalayan regions. Then leopards too, a member of the cat family, and they are important among animals of prey. So we should proud that India is the only country in the world where both tigers and lions are found. So friends, just remember the fact that the information, the Gir forest is the last remaining habitat of Asiatic lion. The Gir forest of Gujarat is the last remaining habitat of the Asiatic lion. Now, the Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold. Now, Ladakh's freezing high altitude are a home to yak, the shaggy horned wild oaks, which weighing around 1 ton, the Tibetan antelope, the bharral, that is blue sheep, wild sheep, and the Kia. So furthermore, the ibex, bear, snow leopard, and rare red panda are found in certain pockets. So friends, in the rivers, lakes, coastal areas, where turtles, crocodiles, gharials are found, and the latter is the only representative of a variety of crocodile Yes, the latter is the only representative of a variety of crocodile which found in the world today. Now see, the some wildlife reserves in India. So friends, the wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary and national park. Now we'll see the national park in short way, right? So Dachigam National Park, Rajaji Corbett, Dudhwa. Then Gormara Manas Kaziranga, Rajgir, Kevladev Ghana, Ranthambore Shivpuri, Kana Tadoba, Gir, Sanjay Gandhi National Park, Simlipal National Park, Bandipur National Park, Guindy National Park. These are some of the national parks. Whereas when we are talking about the wildlife sanctuary like Sariska, Mahanadi, Chandraprabha, Chandka Dampara, Kaval, Pochram, Turnagaram, Mudumalai, Periyar, these are the wildlife sanctuaries. Yes, now moving to the next part, like the bird life in India is colorful, whereas peacock, pheasants, ducks, parakeets, cranes, and peacocks are some of the birds inhabiting the forest and wetlands of the country. So friends, we have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment. Yes, after the fauna, now we have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, that is from the reserve of edible plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animal. They also provided us drought power, transportation, meat and eggs. The fish provide nutritive food. Many insects have been pollination of crops and fruit trees and exerting biological control on such insects in harmful. Every species has a role to play in the ecosystem. Hence, the conservation is essential. And as has been mentioned earlier, due to excessive exploitation of plant and animal resources by human beings, the ecosystem has been disturbed. Yes, now when we are talking about the theoretical idea, the parts of figures, the availability of natural resources, but from the last few decades, it's showing declining their numbers due to the exploitation by human beings. So there are 1300 plant species are endangered, 20 species are extinct. So quite a few animal species are also endangered and some have become extinct. So now we have to work on the conservation of natural resources. Then the main causes for this major threat to nature are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, acid deposits, introduction of alien species and reckless cutting of the forest to bring land under cultivation and habitation, which are also responsible for the imbalance. So friends, to protect the flora and fauna of the country, the government has taken various steps. So the 18 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. 10 out of these, the Sundarbans, Nanda Devi, the Gulf of Mannar, the Nilgiri Nokrek, Great Nicobar Manas Simlipal, Panchmadi, Achanakkamar Amarkantak, which have been included in the world network of biosphere reserves. Now, these are the few. Cuttings from the leading newspapers regarding the how natural resources affecting flora and fauna. Yes, friends, migratory birds. So some of the wetlands of India which are popular with migratory birds. Now during winter, birds such as Siberian crane come in large numbers. So one such place favorable with birds in the run of Kutch. So at a place where the desert merges with the sea, flamingo with their brilliant pink plumage come in thousands to build nest mounds from the salty mud and raise their young ones. So it is one among many extraordinary sights in the country. So friends, in our country, due to the climatic conditions, the number of migratory birds coming to various parts, which is like when we are talking about Siberian crane, they come to the run of Kutch. Now friends, there are 18 bioreserves: Sundarbans, Gulf of Mannar, Nilgiri, Nanda Devi, Nokrek, Great Nicobar Manas, Simlipal, Dihang Dibang, Dibru Saikhoa, Agastya Malai, Kanchenjunga, Panchmadi, Achanakmar, Amarkantak. Then the steps like financial and technical assistance is provided many botanical gardens by the government since 1992, like the Kutch Cold Desert, Chalam Panna. Then the Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. 103 national parks, 535 wildlife sanctuaries, zoological gardens are set up to take care of natural heritage. Now, all of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. So it is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to an immediate end. So friends, these are the few steps taken by the government for the conservation of biodiversity. So this way, we have covered the topic natural vegetation and wildlife. Now, moving to the next part, after the natural vegetation and wildlife, friends, now we'll see next topic is population. Yes, friends. Now we'll continue with the population. So friends, the people are important to develop the economy and the society. So now just imagine a world without human beings, or who would have utilized the resources and created social and cultural environment in the world. So the people are important to develop the economy and the society. So the people make a use resources and themselves resources with varying quality. So coal is but a piece of rock until people were able to invent technology to obtain it and make it resource. Then natural events like a flood, tsunami becomes disaster only when they affect a crowded village or a town. So hence population is the pivotal element in social studies. It is the point of reference from which all other elements are observed and from which they derive significance and meaning. Now, friends, understand the resources, calamities, and disasters are all meaningful only in relation to human beings. So, their numbers, distribution, growth, and characteristics or qualities provide the basic background for understanding and appreciating all aspects of the environment. Now, human beings are producers and consumers of Earth's resources. So therefore, it is important to know that, or to know how many people are there in a country, where do they live, how and why their numbers are increasing, and what are their characteristics. So the census of India, which provides us with information regarding the population of our country. Yes, the census of India, which provides information regarding the population of our country. Now, when we are primarily concerned with three major questions about population, like the population size and distribution. So how many people are there? Where are they located? Next, population growth and processes of population change. So how has the population grown and changed through time? Then characteristics or qualities of the population. What are their age, sex, composition, literacy levels, occupational structure and health conditions. Now we'll see the population size and distribution. So friends, India's population size and distribution by numbers. So on March 2011, where the population stood at 1,210.6 million, which account for the 17.5% of the world's population. So these 1.21 billion people are unevenly distributed over our country's vast area of 3.28 million square kilometer, which accounts for 2.4% of the world's area. So the 2011 census data, which revealed that Uttar Pradesh, with the population size of 199 million, is the most populous state of India. Uttar Pradesh accounts for about 16% of country's population. And on the other hand, Himalayan state of Sikkim has population of just 0.6 million, and Lakshadweep has only 64,429 people. So friends, almost half of India's population lives in just 5 states. The states are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, and Andhra Pradesh. So Rajasthan, the biggest state in terms of area, which has only 5.5% of the total population of India. Now, when we are talking about the census, so a census is an official enumeration of population done periodically. In India, the first census was held in the year 1872. The first complete census, however, was taken in the year 1881. Since the census have been held regularly every 10th year. So the Indian census is the most comprehensive source of demographic, social, and economic data. Now friends, see the India's test of world's area and population. So this is the world's population, whereas our part is around 17.5% globally. Whereas in terms of area, we have 2.4% area in context with the world. Now see the distribution of population as per the 2011 census. So friends, Uttar Pradesh having 16% of the population, whereas Maharashtra having 9%, Bihar having 9%, West Bengal 8%, Andhra Pradesh 7%. Like, yes. So this is the distribution of so the Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, and Andhra Pradesh are the most populous states in India. Now friends, moving to the next part after the distribution of population. See the density of population as per the 2011 census. Now, friends, see, the dense population is in Bihar and West Bengal, then Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, and then other states. Yes, even in Delhi. So now, moving to the next part, India's population distribution by density. So the population density which provides a better picture of the uneven distribution. So population density, which is calculated as number of persons per unit area. Now, India is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. So, the population density of India in the year 2011 was 382 persons per square kilometer. Now, the densities which vary from 1102 persons per square kilometer in Bihar to only 17 persons per square kilometer in Arunachal Pradesh. So as we have seen the map, the distribution of population densities at the state level. So the state with the population densities below 250 persons per square kilometer then the rough terrain and unfavorable climatic conditions are primarily responsible for sparse population in these areas. Now friends, just get to know the information. So just remember that only Bangladesh and Japan have higher average population densities than India. Yes, only Bangladesh and Japan have higher average population densities than India. Now friends, Assam and most of the peninsular states have moderate population densities. So the hilly, dissected and rocky nature of the terrain, the moderate to low rainfall, shallow and less fertile soils have influenced population densities in these areas. So normally when we are talking about the northern plains and Kerala, so the northern plains and Kerala in the south have high to very high population density because the flat plains with fertile soils and abundant rainfall. So when we are talking about the plain of Ganga, which is most populous region where the fertile land and ample of resources available. So due to that, the dense population is occurred in the northern fertile plain along with the Ganga river. Now moving to the next part, the population growth and process of population change. Now population is a dynamic phenomenon where the numbers, distribution, and composition of the population are constantly changing. So this is the influence of the interaction of the three processes like births, deaths, and migrations. When we are talking about popular growth, so growth of population refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a country during a specific period of time. For example, the last 10 years. Yes. So such a change can be expressed in two ways, in terms of absolute numbers and in terms of percentage change per year. So the absolute numbers added each year or decade is the magnitude of increase. It is obtained by simply subtracting the earlier population now the rate or the pace of population increase is the other important aspect. Now it is studied in percent per annum. For example, a rate of increase of 2% per annum, which means that in a given year there was an increase of 2 persons for every 100 persons in the base population. Now, this is referred to as the annual growth rate. Now, friends, India's population has been steadily increasing from 361 million in 1951 to 1,210 million in 2011. Now see the magnitude and rate of India's population growth from 1951 to 2011. So the annual growth rate, like in 1951, it's 1.25. In 1981, it's 2.22. And in 2011, it's 1.64. Now, see the India's population growth rates during 1951 to 2011. The percentage decadal growth rate. So this is the percentage and the years, like from 51 to 61, 61 to 71, then 71 to 81, 81 to 91, 91 to 2001, and 2001 to 2011. Then the India's population from 1901 to 2011. This is the population. These are the decades. So in 2011, the population which is around 1200 plus millions. Now friends, the table and graph which shows the annual rate of population growth which was steadily increasing. So which explain the rapid increase in population. So since 1981, however, the rate of growth started declining gradually. During this period, birth rates declined rapidly. Still, 182 million people were added to the total population in the 1990s. So it is essential to realize that India has very large population when a low annual rate is applied to very large population, it is in a large absolute increase. Now, more than 1 million people increase, even at a lower rate, the total number of being added becomes very large. So, India's annual increase in population is large enough to neutralize efforts to conserve the resource, endowment, and environment. So, before going to see the processes of population change or growth, the declining trend of the growth rate is indeed a positive indicator of the efforts of birth control. Sorry. Despite that, the total additions to the population base continue to grow, and India may overtake China in 2045 to become the most populous country in the world. Now, there are three main processes of change of population. Now we'll see processes of population change or growth. So the three main processes are birth rates, death rates, and migration. The natural increase of population is the difference between birth rates and death rates. Yes, the natural increase of population is the difference between birth rates and death rates. So friends, the birth rate is the number of live births per 1,000 per person in a year. Yes, the birth rate is the number of live births per 1,000 persons in a year. So it is the major component of growth, because in India, birth rates have always been higher than death rates. Whereas the death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 persons in a year. So the main cause of rate of growth of Indian population has been the rapid decline in death rates. So till 1980, high birth rates and declining death rates lead to large difference between birth rates and death rates, so resulting in higher rates of population growth. And since, yes, since 1981, birth rates have also started declining gradually and resulting in a gradual decline in the rate of population growth. So when we are discussing the reasons for this trend, there are a number of reasons. The awareness regarding the quality of life with the nuclear families. Now, after birth rate, death rate, we'll see the third component of population growth, which is migration. Now, migration is the movement of people across regions and territories. So there are two types of migration. One is internal and another one is international. Internal means within the country and international means between the countries. Now, internal migration does not change the size of the population, but influence the distribution of population within the nation. So migration plays a very significant role in changing the composition and distribution of population. So friends, in our country, most migrations have been from rural to urban areas because of the push factor in rural areas. These are adverse conditions of poverty and unemployment in the rural areas and the pull of the city in terms of increased employment opportunities and better living conditions. Now, migration is an important determinant of population change. So it changes not only the population size, but also the population composition of urban and rural populations. In terms of age and sex composition. So in India, the rural-urban migration has resulted in a steady increase in percentage of population in cities and towns. So we can say the growth in urban population, which increased from the 17.29% was the total population in 1951 to the 31.80% in 2011. So near about double growth. So there has been a significant increase in the number of million plus cities from 35 to 53 in just one decade from 2001 to 11. Now the age composition. So friends, the age composition of a population, which refers to the number of people in different age groups in country. Now, it is one of the most basic characteristics of a population. So to an important degree, a person's age influences what she needs, buys, does, or his or her capacity to perform. Consequently, the number and percentage of a population which found within the children, working age, and age groups are notable determinants of the population's social and economic structure. Now, the population of a nation is generally grouped into three broad categories. One is children, so generally below 15 years. Then they are economically unproductive and need to be provided with food, clothing, education, and medical care. Then second is the working age, which is between 15 to 59 years. So they are economically productive and biologically reproductive. They comprise the working population. Then above 59 years, they can be economically productive, so they may have retired. They may be working voluntarily, but they are not available for employment through recruitment. The percentage of children and the aged affect the dependency ratio because these groups are not producers. So friends, the working age, that is the 15 to 59 years, is the producers, we can say, in terms of the economy. So the proportion of the three groups in India's population is already presented in the figure. So friends, we have 58.7% of adults, 34.4% children, and 6.9% aged. So this is the age composition and the age structure of our country. Now, after that, we'll see sex ratio. So the sex ratio is defined as the number of females per 100 males. So the sex ratio is defined as the number of females per 1,000 males in the population. So this information is an important social indicator to measure the extent of equality between males and females in a society at a given time. So the sex ratio in the country has always remained unfavorable to females. So friends, do you know Kerala has a sex ratio of 1084 females per 1,000 males, whereas Puducherry has 1038 females over 1,000 males, where Delhi has only 866 females per 1,000 males, and Haryana has just 877 females per 1,000 males. Now this is the sex ratio in our country in different states. So now see the sex ratio in India from 1951 to 2011. So this is the figures from the all over the country. So in 2011, the ratio was 943 females per 1,000 males. Now, after the sex ratio, friends, we'll see literacy rates. Now, when we are talking about literacy, so literacy is a very important quality of a population. So obviously only an informed and educated citizen can make intelligent choices and undertake research and development projects. Low levels of literacy are a serious obstacle for economic improvement. According to the census 2011, a person aged 7 years and above who can read and write with understanding in any language is treated as literate. So there has been a steady improvement in the literacy levels in India. The literacy rate in the country, as per the census of 2011, is 73%, 80.9% for males, and 64.6% for females. Then occupational structure. The percentage of population that is economically active is an important index of development. So the distribution of population according to different types of occupation is referred to as occupational structure. So an enormous variety of occupations are found in any country. Now, occupations are generally classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary. So when we are talking about primary activities, which includes agriculture, animal husbandry, forestry, fishing, mining, and quarrying, whereas secondary activities include manufacturing, industry, building and construction work, and the tertiary activities includes transport, communications, commerce, administration, and other services. So now, the occupations are generally classified into primary, secondary, and tertiary activities. So the proportion of people working in different activities varies in developed and developing countries. So developed nations have a high proportion of people in secondary and tertiary activities, whereas in developing countries, which tend to have a higher proportion of their workforce engaged in primary activities. So these primary activities, which includes like agriculture, animal husbandry, forestry, fishing, mining, and quarrying. So in India, about 64% of the population is engaged in only agriculture. Then the proportion of population dependent on secondary and tertiary sectors, which is about 13 to 20% respectively. So there has been an occupational shift in favor of secondary and tertiary sectors because of growing industrialization and urbanization in recent times. Now, after the occupation, now we'll see the health. So, health is an important component of population composition which affect the process of development. So the sustained efforts of government programs have registered significant improvements in the health conditions of the Indian population. So the death rates have inclined from 25% per thousand population in 1951 to 7.2% per thousand in 2011. So the life expectancy as birth has increased from 36.7 years in 1951 to 67.9 years in 2012. So the substantial improvement in the result of many factors, which including improvement in public health, prevention of infectious disease, and application of modern medical practices in diagnosis and treatment of ailments. So despite considerable achievements, the health situation is a matter of major concern for India. Now, the per capita calorie consumption is much below the recommended levels, and nutrition afflicts a large percentage of our population. So safe drinking water and basic sanitation amenities are available to only 1/3 of the rural population. So the health is an important component of population composition. Now, friends, like this safe drinking water and basic sanitation, these problems need to be tackled through appropriate population policy. Now, moving to the next part, adolescent population. So, the most significant feature of the Indian population is the size of its adolescent population. So it constitutes 1/5 of the total population of India. So adolescents are generally grouped in the age group of 10 to 19 years. They are the most important resource of the future. Nutrition requirements of the adolescents are higher than those of a normal child or adult. So poor nutrition can lead to deficiency and stunt growth. But in India, the diet available for adolescents is inadequate in all nutrients. Yes. Arijit, what's the concern? Why you're not able to understand? Now tell me. Yes, Arijit. We are covering NCERT of contemporary India, and now we are studying about the population part. Now ask the doubt you are having. Yes, Arijit, आप doubt पूछिए. चलिए, now moving to the next part. So the awareness among the adolescents can be improved through the spread of literacy and education. Now, after the adolescent population, we'll see national population policy. So, recognizing that the planning of families would improve individual health and welfare, the government of India initiated a comprehensive family planning program in 1952. So, the family welfare program has sought to promote responsible and planned parenthood on a voluntary basis. So, the National Population Policy 2000 is a culmination of years of planned efforts. Now, NPP 2000, which provides a policy framework for imparting free and compulsory school education up to 14 years of age, reducing infant mortality rate to below 30 per thousand live births. Now, achieving universal immunization of children against all vaccine preventable diseases, promoting delayed marriage for girls, and making family welfare a people-centered program. Yes, this is the national population policy. So when we are talking about national population policy and adolescents, So, National Population Policy 2000, which identified adolescent as one of the major section of the population that need greater attention. So, along with the nutritional requirements, this age group should aware about the STDs. So, it called programs that aim towards encouraging delayed marriage and childbearing, education of adolescents about the risk of unprotected sex, making contraceptive services accessible and affordable, providing food supplements, nutritional services, and strengthening legal measures to prevent child marriage. So, friends, the National Population Policy is the result of observations, suggestions, and the formation from previous experiences. So, the people are the nation's most valuable resource. Where a well-educated, healthy population provides potential power. So, friends, this is all about the population. So, we have completed the population topic, and with this, we have completed class 9th NCERT of Contemporary India 1. So, friends, whenever you will get time, you can go through the revision once and the all parts of this NCERT. You can go with the glossary given in the end of the all 6 chapters. So, friends, that's it about today's session. So, in today's session, or in the all 4 parts we have covered, the complete NCERT from, like we have covered in first session, India size and location. Yes, Arijit, if you are not able to understand this part, you can attend our bilingual sessions. Yes. और यदि कोई डाउट है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं कमेंट्स के थ्रू. अदरवाइज आप हमारे बायलैंग्वेज जो सेशंस है एनसीईआरटी के वो भी अटेंड कर सकते हैं. Yes, Arijit. Now, friends, come to the recap of the 4 parts where we have covered the size and location of our country, so as we are lying on entirely in northern hemisphere. This is northern and this is southern hemisphere. So, friends, we have also discussed about the size. Like India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometer. So we are 7th in number in the largest countries of the world. Then this is the extent of standard meridian Then we have discussed about India and the world, the international highway of trade and commerce. Then we have discussed about India's neighbors. Like India shares its land boundaries with Pakistan and Afghanistan in the northwest, whereas China, that is the part of Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan, in the north, and Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east. So our southern neighbors across the sea, which consisting the two island countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives. So through the map, we have studied India and adjacent countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. This is the Sri Lanka and this is the Maldives. Then we have also covered the physical features of India. Where friends, we have discussed about the major physiographic divisions like the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the islands. We have discussed all those in detail. So friends, Majuli in the Brahmaputra River is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. Then we have discussed about the Indian desert, the coastal plains. So the Chilika Lake is the largest saltwater lake in India. Friends, this Chilika Lake lies in the state of Odisha and to the south of the Mahanadi Delta. Then we have discussed about the islands. We also covered the corals. So, active volcano in India, which occurred, was found on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. Then we have covered the drainage system. So, where we have covered the Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. The Indus River system, Ganga River system, then Brahmaputra River system. Then we have also discussed about the peninsular rivers, where the Narmada Basin, Tapi Basin, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna Basin, Kaveri Basin, then lakes we have also discussed about river pollution. Then NRCP, National River Conservation Plan. After the basin, we have covered the climate. So friends, climate, which refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variations over a large area for long period of time. Whereas weather means the state of the atmosphere over an area at any point of time. So this is the difference between climate and weather. There are climatic controls. The factors affecting India's climate like latitude, altitude, pressure and winds. We have also discussed about Coriolis force, jet streams, western cyclonic disturbances, and then we have discussed the Indian monsoon. Then El Nino and effect we have discussed. Then the seasons like cold weather season, winter, summer, that is the hot weather season, rainy season, that is advancing monsoon, and the transition season, that is retreating or the post monsoon. So friends, Mohsin Ram is the wettest place on the earth. Then distribution of rainfall we have discussed. Then today we have covered the natural vegetation and wildlife, like the virgin vegetation, flora and fauna, relief, where we have discussed about land, soil. Then with the climate we have discussed about temperature, photoperiod, that is sunlight, precipitation. Then types of vegetation where we have covered tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forests and scrubs, mountain forests, mangrove forests, then tropical evergreen forests, which occurs in the heavy rainfall areas, the tropical deciduous forest, the occurs between the rainfall of 70 centimeter to 200 centimeter. So there are moist and dry deciduous forests. Then the thorn forest and scrubs, mountain forests, mangrove forests. Then we have discussed about the wildlife in detail. So the Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in India in 1972. India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. Yes, friends, the Gir forest in Gujarat is the last remaining habitat of Asiatic lion. Then we have discussed about 18 bioreserves and the various steps taken by the government for the conservation of the biodiversity and the wildlife. Then we have discussed the population size and distribution, population growth and processes of population change, characteristics and or the qualities of the population, We have discussed about the census. So the three main processes of change of population: birth rates, death rates, and migration. That is internal migration and international migration. Then age composition, like children, working age, and aged. Then we have discussed about the sex ratio, literacy rates, occupational structure, like primary, secondary, and tertiary. Then health component, then adolescent population and national population policy. So friends, this is all about the class 9th NCERT of Contemporary India 1. So friends, in the NCERT marathon session, we will continue with the remaining NCERTs. So keep watching our videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now friends, I have received some suggestions from the aspirants about the speed of our sessions. So friends, earlier we have received few suggestions, like students want to make their own short notes. So definitely we will improve your feedback and suggestions in the upcoming sessions. And the students like Arijit facing the problems to understanding, now they can attend the bilingual course for the NCERTs, like the students like Sri Sai, they are doing well with their preparation. So now friends, keep revising, keep studying. We'll continue with the remaining part of the sessions. Now, do not forget to enroll yourself for the Mega Combat subscription test on tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. We are providing huge discount on combo subscriptions. So there are approx 45% discount till 14 July. You can go with the 1 year, 2 year, and 3 years of combo subscription. For example, for the 1 year of subscription, you have to pay only 49,680 rupees. Friends, you will get extended validity with Maha subscription offer. If you will opt for 1 year subscription, you will get validity till Mains 2022. And for 2 year subscription, you will get validity till Mains 2023. Yes, there is comprehensive test series for the preliminary and main examination, where we'll cover topic-wise, sectional, and full-length test. So the test series worth rupees 30,000 is free with 1 year subscription and onwards. We are going to start new batches from 14 July. You can join these batches as per your convenience, like we have revision batches, regular batches, and NCERT batches. Free test series for all aspirants. So friends, where we'll cover the general studies and current affairs part. So you can use code RBI Live to unlock the test. So friends, keep watching, like and share and subscribe Unacademy videos. See you in the next lecture. Till the time, keep studying, keep revising. Stay home, stay safe. All the best.